So how was your trip to London?
It was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah.
So how is the press this thing? And you realize that story that came out then? That story was just so.
This is like Dele Giwa's residence.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, could I have a passage for me?
Okay.
We look at most of the publications nowadays. They are so afraid of this government. Coming. Who is that? They are so afraid of this government. And we have to do something about it. We cannot just sit back, fold our hands and do nothing.
That's a package for you.
A package for me.
Yeah.
Oh. From the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
This man.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah, seriously, you saw the president and say.
We had a conversation yesterday,
Yeah.
and I think probably this is a continuation of that conversation.
What conversation?
I do get telegraph from them every month, and I think this is one for this month.
About what? Is it?
Don't worry, until I open it, I get to know what is it about. Now, to our publication that is coming out on Monday, we need to actually let the truth come out. We need to silence these naysayers.
You do realize I have photos for you?
I do. I would like to see them.
Excuse
Can you
me.
get them for me?
Excuse
All right, okay. I don't know what this country is turning into. From the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. What is this about? Okay.
Jesus! What happened? Jesus! Oh my goodness!
Dele!
Dele, get up! Dele, get up! Dele, please cannot release to me. Dele, please get up!
Dele Giwa, a foreign figure in Nigerian journalism, left an indelible mark on the nation's media landscape. This is the story of his life, his work, and the legacy he left behind. On Sunday, October 19, 1986, barely 2 years after the launch of Newswatch magazine, Nigeria's first news magazine, the editor-in-chief, Dele Giwa, was gruesomely assassinated with an unprecedented letter bomb at his home in Lagos. He was just 39. To this day, his killers remain unknown. Although without a royal pint of blood, Sumonu Ola Dele Giwa was born in the palace, not just a palace, but the palace of the Oni of Ife, Oba Adesoji Tadeniawo Aderemi, as his father worked there. Of Owan, Edo State origin, Giwa was born on March 16, 1947 to Musa Giwa and Elekiwa Ayisat Giwa in Ile-Ife, then the western region of Nigeria.
In 1950, at the age of 3, Dele was enrolled in a Quranic preparatory school in Ile-Ife, where he was considered outstanding. In 1955, he was enrolled at the Ansaruddin Primary School in Ile-Ife, from which he would run back and forth to continue his Quranic education at the preparatory school. In 1960, Dele began attending the local authority modern school in Lagere, Ile-Ife, and moved out of his parents' home to stay with one of his father's clients. In January 1964, Dele was admitted into Oduduwa College after passing the entrance examination. His father worked as a laundryman at the college and had a percentage of his monthly pay deducted to pay for Dele's school fees. He was academically brilliant, especially in English language, English literature, and Bible knowledge. At the age of 19, he worked as a clerk at Union Bank for 5 months, and later as in the administration department at Nigerian Tobacco Company, NCC.
In 1984, Giwa, along with Ray Ekpo, former editor of Sunday Times, Don Agbese, former editor of New Nigeria newspaper, and Yakubu Mohammed, editor National Concord, founded a news magazine called Newswatch. Dele Giwa became the editor-in-chief of the magazine, and the first edition was distributed to the public on January 28, 1985. This ushered in the new era of real and investigative journalism in Nigeria. Newswatch was a bold and untried venture in Nigeria journalism. Newswatch, the magazine, was too hot for the government to handle. It was a magazine that would dig so deep in the gathering of information and publish without trepidation that it may become a pain in the neck for both Muhammadu Buhari and Ibrahim Babangida-led military regime administration.
On Thursday, 16, 1980, 3 days before his death, Giwa was interrogated by officials of the State Security Service (SSS) over a column he wrote on the introduction of second-tier foreign exchange markets (STFEM) by Head of State General Ibrahim Babangida Giwa. He argued in the column that STFEM must succeed or else those in government must be stored in the streets. Giwa was questioned by Col. Ahiru Akilu of the Directorate of the Military Intelligence (DMI) over his relationships with some people dealing in arms importation. The next day, on Friday 17th, he was invited to the headquarters of the SSS at 15th Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. He was accompanied by Ray Ekpo, but Giwa was the only one taken to Director Ajibola Togun's office.
Dele was invited to SSS office. I decided in Ikoyi, I decided to accompany him. I said, I'll go with you. And then before we left, we said, let's stop at our lawyer's chambers, Gani Fawahimi, and report to him. We saw him and he said, well, go and see them, and whatever they say, when you come back, you report. And we went there. I waited in the outer office, and they took Dele in and questioned him, and he came out. He was looking agitated, and he said to me, these people think the worst of me. I said, well, what happened? He said they made some allegations, gave him 4 charges, namely that he's importing arms, and secondly, he is planning a socialist revolution. Number 3, that he wants to publish a second story, a follow-up story on Ebitu Ukiwe, who had been recently removed by President Babangida. And fourthly, that he had decided to employ a policeman called Alozie Ogubwaja, who was having problems with his employers because it said something to the effect that soldiers drink beer and take pepper soup, and when they finish, they go and plan coups.
In 1984, the Muhammadu Buhari's led military government issued a Decree 20, which states that any person without lawful authority deals, sells, smokes, or inhales the drug known as heroin, cocaine, or other similar drugs shall be guilty and liable to conviction to suffer death sentence by firing squad. Therefore, on April 2, 1985, a certain Gloria Okon, whose real name was Chinyere, was about to board the Nigerian Airway flight at the Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, when she was apprehended and arrested with substances suspected to be heroin, which weigh about 57 grams, as other drugs as well as local currency and foreign currency.
She was trying to board a plane, and then eventually there was a report that she died in detention. And the story was that she was carrying drugs for an important lady in Nigeria, and that they may have arranged to eliminate her, and that Newswatch was pursuing the story.
Gloria Okon was reported to be a drug carrier for Babangida and his wife Miriam. However, a top official in the government put Chinyere on the next available flight from Kano to London, and then claimed she was dead by parading a dead woman, pick her out of the mortuary. Dele Giwa was later said to have found out that Gloria was in London, having delivered a baby by another man. He sent a French photographer to the place, and they saw Miriam Babangida at the event. Kayode Soyinka brought back the photographs to Giwa's house in Lagos. After the rules, General Muhammadu Buhari on August 5, 1985 reportedly set up a judicial commission inquiry to investigate the arrest and death of Gloria Okon. The report on the investigation was expected to be brought in at the end of the month, but fruitless journey. It never saw the light of the day as Buhari was toppled by Ibrahim Babangida in a military coup 22 days later. On August 27, 1985, at the end of the investigation, Kayode Soyinka's Newswatch London bureau chief had brought back the photographs. The French photographs are reportedly taken of Gloria Okon. It was a Sunday morning of October 19, 1986, as they were about to have their breakfast. They had looked at the pictures, and then Dele Giwa's first son came in with a parcel addressed to his dad and meant only for him. It was not a strange thing, and it's even been the first that he would receive such. In fact, he had received a phone call from Akelu some 40 minutes before he received the parcel. The allegations against him has been dropped and the math resolved. Minutes later, Giwa was with the letter bomb which was delivered by some unidentified people who gave it to a security man, in turn to give it to Billy, who forwarded on transfer to his father. The only witness to these events is Kayode Soyinka. Before the bomb exploded, he had alleged that the parcel had a label with the seal of the Nigerian president and that it was from the office of the president.
I'm aware that Dele did receive parcels from the President Babangida, before that day, and these parcels were always sent by Colonel Aliu. And at least on 2 occasions he showed me the parcel with an inscription from the CNC, Commander-in-Chief, to be opened personally by the addressee or by the addressee only. And I've been a witness to 2 of such parcels. So, who could possibly devise a parcel bomb with such inscription except somebody who was in the know about how the president used to send it? Who would know that apart from the inscription from the Commander-in-Chief or CNC, he normally would put to be opened only by the addressee?
Giwa was said to have been excited when he received the parcel that it was from the president, referring to the discussion he had with Babangida days earlier. He put the parcel on his lap, and as he tried to open it, the bomb exploded and blew up his upper legs and badly affected the lower part of the body. The noise threw Soyinka on the floor by the exit door, and he became momentarily unconscious but later regained consciousness. The noise was deafening and everybody came rushing to the scene. On getting there, Dele Giwa's wife and neighbors saw him swallowed on the floor in the pool of his own blood with his charred body. He was rushed to the First Foundation Hospital, Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos, and there he breathed his last. While in transition to the hospital, Giwa kept moaning, "They have got me." He who he has referred to as they remains a widow to this day. Throughout the tenure of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, under whose watch the cruel murder occurred, the police and other security apparatus repeating their familiar words, "No fresh lead. We have no clue yet, but we're still on it." The slaying file of the journalist remained open for several years, with the police, like the Godot, awaiting information from the public that could lead to identification of Dele Giwa's killing.
On July 3, 2001, the Human Rights Violation Investigation Commission to investigate human rights abuses, which sat for 2 years and 11 months. Abubakar Ustaz, a former commissioner of police in Lagos who was in charge of Dele Giwa's assassination case, accused Babangida-led military regime for shielding Giwa's killing. Ustaz also said that the police was not given free hand to interrogate those that were suspects, and he believed that Dele Giwa was in the way of some powerful forces. On October 1986, at about 12:37 p.m., somewhere at First Foundation Hospital, Okpebi, Ikeja, the Nigerian journalist uttered his final words, "They got me," which he has been saying en route to the hospital. Giwa found himself in that hospital, after which he received a letter bomb which he had thought to have been from the president.
He was fortunate. He belongs to the media, and the media went crazy.
He's dead.
You keep it alive up till today. It was Dele Giwa, it was Rewani, it was Bola Ige. You know, those will remain. People will talk about it, and people will like to pinpoint at somebody.
Dele Giwa may be gone, but his legacy lives on. He will always be remembered as a champion of press freedom and a symbol of courage in the face of adversity.
Dele Giwa's legacy serves as a reminder of the power of journalism to shine a light in the darkest corners of society and inspire change. His memory will continue to inspire generations of journalists to come. Nearly 40 years later, the question is still being asked: who killed Dele Giwa?